Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Three in the Key podcast. I'm your host today. I'm Ben, and I'm joined here by Arnav and Andrew. Guys, say hello.
What's up?
How's it going, everyone?
So for today's episode, we are continuing our Monday kind of series, even though it's Tuesday, of the top 10 players at each position in the league. And for today, we're doing centers. But before we get into that, I would just like to congratulate Brandon Ingram, the next Kevin Durant, on winning Most Improved Player, and Ja Morant for winning Rookie of the Year. So
Didn't we say Kevin Durant is the next Brandon Ingram? So Brandon Ingram's the next Brandon Ingram.
Yeah.
Brandon Ingram's the next himself, guys. So, that was stupid though because Bam Adebayo should have won it.
He got robbed.
I don't think he got robbed, but
I think he got robbed.
Okay, so the voting as far as first place goes was 42-38 in favor of Ingram, and he got that's not that big of a difference, but I still think Bam should have won. He makes more of an impact than Ingram with his defense as well as his passing, and then he's a great lob threat. Obviously, he doesn't shoot yet, but I think he can become a better.
Ingram's just a scorer. That's all he does, and
he's a bucket.
Kind of just what he was supposed to do.
He's very efficient, though.
There was no other bucket makers on New Orleans, pretty much. So that was his job.
That's not necessarily true. They had Drew Holiday, who's a 20-point scorer. Lonzo was inconsistent, but sometimes he was really amazing.
But Brandon Ingram had to score 40 points a game for them to win.
That's not necessarily true, but I kind of see where you're coming from. But he didn't, by no means, carry them. He's arguably not even the best player on that team.
Yeah. Okay, let's move to our lists. Who wants to go first?
Arnav, do you want to go first?
Yeah.
Right. Oh, also, because I put him on my list last time, I don't have Porzingis on my list. And I think Ben does. I don't know if Nav does, but I don't.
Porzingis.
He's listed on Basketball Reference as a power forward. And since
He's
Basketball
bold.
Reference knows all these all, I'm just going to go with that.
Did you put
And
Porzingis
since they
in the power
had
forward?
Dwight Powell starting at center, I was like, it kind of makes sense. But if you have him, whatever. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah. Okay, so Nav, your list.
All right. So, honorable mention, we got the boy, Bull. Before Andrew gets mad, Bull is I think next year, if he gets enough minutes that the minutes that he deserves, I don't think he's a starter to be behind Jokic. I think on a different team he would be way better because they got the best center in the league. Spoiler alert. But they got the best center in the league.
Okay.
So, he doesn't get enough minutes. But Bobo's probably one of the best centers in the league. Yeah.
One day he could be there. He's a scary player.
Yeah.
The Nuggets have scary potential though, because think about their lineup right now. Assuming Jamal Murray next year is a 23-point per game scorer, which I think he can be. He's been amazing in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Then their lineup will, in a few years, could be something like Jamal Murray. I don't know who they'd have at shooting guard, but for now, Gary Harris, Michael Porter Jr., Bull, and Nikola Jokic.
Mm-hmm.
And what weakness does that team have other than
Michael Porter Jr.?
Michael Porter Jr. is averaging 19 points when he starts.
He could be a star.
Michael Porter Jr. in 3 or 4 years could be the best player on that team.
True.
Maybe. But right now he's playing ass.
He's not. That's not true. He's playing
ass in the playoffs. Do you watch the games?
Let me check. Let me check his game logs. Okay, if he's only playing 8 minutes, then that doesn't matter. But if he's
he's only playing 8 minutes because he's playing ass.
That's okay. Maybe he's only playing 8 minutes because he's a rookie. He only played 16 minutes a game in the regular season, so it's not like he had crazy.
Arnav, how many times are you gonna say he's bad?
I'm gonna say it as much times.
That's not Arnav. That's not even true. In game 2, he had 28 points. He had 28.
Okay, wait. Let's let Arnav move on to his other honorable mention.
In 3 games, he was really bad, but in In game 2, it was awesome. So he's been okay.
One game, he was awesome.
Okay, he doesn't have to be awesome every game. He's a rookie.
Well, you're saying he's going to be one of the best players. You're saying he's going to be better
in
than
5 years.
Exactly. So you can't. What are you even talking about? Okay, let me move on. All right, number 10, Steven Adams. Strongest person in the league. Oh, man. You know, I think he's probably the best screen setter in the league for sure.
Yeah,
and he's really key to OKC right now. And last night, OKC beat the Rockets because Russell Westbrook is still loyal to OKC.
He's loyal to the soil, man.
Yeah, Russell Westbrook is finally leading OKC to the second round. Anyways, Andre Drummond, number 9, best rebounder in the league in my books, but he's just not good. Like, he's just not good otherwise, to be honest. Like, he used to be so good, but like honestly, if he's put on a team that like fits his play style, then he'd be amazing. But right now, I think he's on the Cavs, right?
Yeah, he's on the Cavs. But what's his play style? Because
he rebounds and he can post up. But I also want him to like dish some 3-point shooters after each rebound.
I'll tell you this right now: Andre Drummond, as far as centers go, is a below-average post player, and basically his game is just rebounding the hell out of the ball and. I don't know, the occasional alley-oop or just catching inside and bodying for a layup. So really, the ceiling of that is really low. Like if that's your best player and that's what you're building around, you're not even going to get out of the second round.
He's like a slower Rodman.
What? That doesn't make any sense. He's not a tenth of the defender that Dennis Rodman is. Dennis Rodman's an all-time defender. He is Drummond is just an okay defender.
Yeah,
but I sort of see what you're.
Well, anyways,
Drummond is just, I don't know. He's not built for the modern game, and I have a very low opinion of him.
Number 8, LaMarcus Aldridge. I used to think he was like a really, really good player, but like now he's just kind of disappointing. Like he hasn't made an All-Star.
He's old.
Yeah, he's old.
And his team isn't good.
Yeah, like. Mm-hmm. I wish Sacramento would do something. Like they got good players.
On Sacramento.
Is it? Wait, when did he leave? When did he leave Sacramento?
He's never played for Sacramento. Not once in his career. He played for San Antonio.
LaMarcus Aldridge. Wait, what? What did I say? Oh, I said Sacramento.
Sacramento.
Okay. Oh, okay.
San Antonio.
I was thinking about San Antonio. I thought, but it sounds the same. Shut up. All right. Anyways.
Oh, dear me.
All right.
God.
Yeah, I wish San Antonio.
Right.
All right. Number 7, Nikola Vucevic. Probably one of the best. I think he is the best shooting big man in the league, for sure. And he was pretty key to the Magic. Like. He played really good in the playoffs.
First of all, that's absurd, and I'll get to about 4 guys that are better than him in a minute, but go on. You think Nikola Vucevic is the best shooting big man in the NBA?
Center.
Big man.
Center.
You said big
man.
man.
Same thing.
Okay, well, I mean, by big man, I mean center.
Okay, yes, center.
Okay.
You know Karl Anthony Towns exists, right? And he shoots 8 threes a game on a.
They're not better.
And Embiid is better. He's about equal. Nikola Vucevic is like a 33% 3-point shooter on less than 5 attempts, and Embiid is basically the same. And Nikola Jokic has had a bad shooting year, but I would say at his best he's better than Vucevic. So no, you're wrong. But go on.
Didn't he go into the 3-point competition? Or was that just... No, he didn't. I'm
No,
sorry,
no.
though. I don't know much about centers.
I mean,
That was Joe Harris.
You don't know
he was in the skills competition.
Vucevic? Yeah, he was. But he
Yeah.
got bounced first round, right?
Yeah, he got bounced first round.
Yeah, I almost completely forgot that he was in that.
Anyways, number 6, Bam Adebayo.
Yep.
Definitely, I think he deserved most improved player of the year.
Oh.
Really key for his team. He just dominates on both sides, and I think he's going to be an all-star for in the next few years for sure. And he could be he hasn't reached his ceiling yet, and he's just going to get better and better. I think, Miami's a really good fit for him, and I think Miami could be really dangerous with him.
I think Miami's going to take out the Bucks. I know in our playoff predictions,
Exactly.
I disagreed with you, but I think now I'm jumping on the bandwagon, Arnav.
I still think you're both wrong, and I think that Miami. Okay, so Orlando in the first game of their series, basically.
But listen. I'm not saying that because the Heat won game 1. I said this before the game was played.
That's a fair point. You did say that to me yesterday.
Yeah, before the game was played, I said that I thought the Heat were going to beat them.
I still
Wait,
think
they won game 1?
Yeah, he won game 1.
Yes, I heard.
Assuming if Mike Budenholzer doesn't make adjustments, which is possible because he didn't against Toronto last year, he just sat on his hands and decided that Giannis would go God mode. If he doesn't make adjustments, then the Heat will probably win.
Yeah.
The Heat are good enough if the Bucks play poorly to beat them.
The Heat need to foul Giannis, get him at the free throw line, and just let him airball free throws just like last year. The Heat need Drake, though. The Heat need Drake. You can only beat Giannis.
He became a better free throw shooter, though.
I know, so that's why they need Drake. They need Drake.
What do you mean? Who needs Drake?
They need anybody who's playing the Bucks.
Anybody who's playing that, fair point.
Honestly,
Drake.
Last year, Drake activated Intimidator.
Drake is like Spike Lee.
All right, now go on to your next spot.
Number 5, Kristaps Porzingis. Dallas is playing really good right now. I did not expect them to be this good against the Clippers. That's obviously mostly just because of Doncic, but Kristaps is pretty key into that too. Not much to say here, but I think he went down from the years prior, but he's still really good. Better than
I think that's just growing pains because he was on the Knicks for 4 years, which obviously that's not good. But I think going into Dallas, he kind of had to adjust, right? Because it was his first year. He had to figure out Luka. They had to figure out each other's games. Kind of like Mike Conley in Utah. At the start of the year, he was really bad, but then they figured it out by the end, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what's happened with a lot of free agent moves this year.
Yeah, because you got to
Westbrook in Houston, or I don't know, Paul George and Kawhi. I don't know. You get it.
Yes. So Porzingis at 5.
Number 4, Rudy Gobert, best defensive center in the league.
He might be the most impactful defensive player in the NBA, period.
Yeah.
Well, I've been getting really mad at Gobert during the playoffs. He can't guard Jokic. He can't guard Jokic, period.
Because Gobert is a rim protector. He's not supposed to be guarding the outside.
They should run zone against the Nuggets.
Yeah, but I don't – yeah, I guess. But I don't know if that
and Joe Ingles can't do nothing about Jamal Murray.
Wait, they play tonight, though, don't they?
They play tonight.
Yeah.
So,
time for the Jazz to blow a 3-1 lead.
Shut up.
So
don't say that.
That would be so funny.
Now, we have to go on Discord and talk. Okay, I'm getting off topic. Let's go to your next play.
Number 3, Joel Embiid. Pretty bad. Really bad. Extraordinarily bad.
He's the
Mr.
third best center
Crybaby
in the league
himself.
for you, though. I don't know.
If he was that bad, then why is he top 3 on your list?
Because he's better than everybody else.
A two-time Defensive Player of the Year. That's on the team you're biased for.
I know, but Embiid is okay. But he's really bad.
Okay.
Anyways,
I'll get to Embiid in a minute.
I'm not going to talk about Embiid because I don't like him and he's really annoying and I hate him because he's annoying and he's a crybaby.
You're really laying it in here, man.
He's literally the biggest baby in the league. Like, he's just huge and he's just a baby that cries after losing games.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Now you can relax.
All right.
Relax.
Number 2, Cat. Probably, I think he's going to be the best center in the league in a few, like, probably next year or the year after, as long as injuries aren't hurting him. Next year, Minnesota is going to be crazy. I think if Minnesota's full health, they're going to be insane. But I don't think they're going to win a chip, but I know they're going to get pretty, like, I think they're going to get to, like, second round or maybe even the conference finals.
Next year? You have
next year or, like, in a few years. But, yeah. They have to figure it out first, but still. Like,
they have a lot
reloading
of work out.
and Cat.
Remember, they
Cat,
have
and the first pick.
Remember, they have the first pick now.
Exactly.
So they would have to go from the second worst team in the league to a mid playoff team. I don't see that happening.
If they make a good draft pick and trade it for a good player,
they should trade for Devin Booker or Bradley Beal.
Well, how are they going to trade for Devin Booker? Who would do that? That's dumb.
Well, they can trade this pick, which can be LaMelo Ball. And then they have Jarrett Culver.
Devin Booker's...
They have Malik Beasley, who's a 20-point-per-game scorer right now. They have Naz Reid.
They just figured out how to play good together in the bubble. No one's going to break up that team right now. They were the best team in the entire bubble.
Oh, Robert Sarver's the second worst owner in the league. If there's someone that's going to trade a star at the best time, it's him or Dolan.
Okay, that is true. That's very true.
And so I think they have enough to get him. Because think about it, LaMelo could be better than Devin Booker. And if you have a trade for him and other assets, wouldn't you take that?
Yes. Actually, no, I would not.
I think LaMelo's a bit of a risk, but I don't know. I think it could work.
Mm-hmm.
We'll just see.
Insert himself as the dumbest person on the planet. But whatever. And number 1, the guy that the Jazz are going to beat tonight for 100%, they better.
No.
Nikola Jokic. What the? Did I say Nikola?
You said Nikola Jokic.
Okay,
keep going.
Okay. Anyways, Jokic is like the best center in the league right now. And he's like a really good passer, good for his team. I think he's getting carried by Jamal Murray because nobody can guard Jamal Murray because he's
That's also really not true. I'll look at
He's been playing very good as well.
Yeah, Jokic. I just don't like that.
Jokic is
the Jazz.
If you saw, Arnav, I don't want to burst your bubble, but Jokic's scoring has gone up 6 points. He's now averaging 25, 7, and 5 in the
Game 5, bro. Game 5, he was like 7 for 7 on his first 7 shots.
Yeah, he's pretty nuts.
I think the first 5 threes he took, he made all of them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
He was going off, and that was pissing me off because Gobert was not playing any defense, bro. He's not even trying. Like, he puts his hands up, and that's all he does.
I'm pretty sure he's trying, Arnav.
He's not even trying, bro. He's not even trying.
He wants to get eliminated in the first round.
I could play better defense than
sure. With Nikola Jokic running at you.
I would block him, bro.
Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah.
I swore.
I really bet you would.
Okay, so should we move to my list or Andrew's list?
Yes, your list, Ben.
All right, so I also put Porzingis on my list just because, I think he's a center with, like, the Dwight Powell injury and all, but we're not going to get into that. I have him on my list, so that's that. My list is pretty similar to Arnav, some flips, not exactly the same, but pretty similar. So I'm going to get into it. I have a lot of honorable mentions because I believe that there are many skilled centers in the league right now. So I'm going to start with my honorable mentions. So honorable mention number 1, I got Clint Capella. Good in the past years for Houston, got traded because of, the Russell Westbrook defect to Atlanta. We don't really know how he's going to play there because he hasn't played a game yet. But alongside Trae Young, I think he's going to be good. Yeah, I think he's going to be pretty good. Another honorable mention I got is Miles Turner, Marc Gasol, Jonas Valanciunas, and DeAndre Ayton. All good players, but didn't make my list. At number 10, same person that Arnav had at number 10 is Steven Adams. Obviously very strong. I don't think he's being as aggressive as he should be.
I agree with
this play, especially against Houston. Like
he should take advantage of his
been passive. He's been passive.
He should be averaging like 8.
I mean, he's getting 10 plus rebounds a game.
But that's what he was doing in the regular season.
He hasn't been playing bad defense.
Well, yeah. Guarding someone who's
so he's at number 10. So I think he needs to be more aggressive against this Houston team. But I think he's still gonna be he's still a factor when he's out there.
Yeah, I definitely agree with what you're saying.
Yeah. So I have him at number 10. At number 9, I have Nikola Vucevic. Played pretty good against the Bucks. Obviously got eliminated. I thought he showed glimpses of a top center in the league. But I think that there are just guys out there that can get it done better. I think they might need to move him. I think he could fit well in many teams. As Arnav said, he's one of the best shooting big men in the league. So I have him at number 9. Not too much else to say about him. I think the Magic are going to be pretty decent next season. Because
I think they need to trade all their assets that aren't young. I think they should build around Jonathan Isaac and Mo Bamba right now. I think Vucevic is a good player, and I consider it a fitter for him. Boston maybe. They need a post presence, and they have enough assets for their draft picks in the future to make that deal. So I think that would be a good move. Maybe the Clippers. But the Clippers basically gave away all their draft picks, so I don't know what they would trade for him. He would be a good player for them. He can hold it down. He can stretch the floor a little bit. He can pass. He's a good player.
Number 8, you guys might think is a little bit high, but I have LaMarcus Aldridge. I think he's just going to keep dropping on my list as years go on because he is older, but he had some great years. He did play a little bit of power forward in his career, but he's pretty much a center, so I have him on my list. Again, a good shooting big man. I think he could have been more of a threat from the perimeter. I didn't think he shot enough threes.
I think that he shot the most threes of his career this year. I think he shot 4 a game.
Really?
Yeah, but he only shot like 30%. He's not a good shooter. That's not his game.
Well,
mid-range is his game.
He took 3 a game on a 38% clip, which is fine, I guess, but his game is the low block, especially that left.
Mid-range, yeah.
That left high post area is like where he gets it done.
I'm going to be the best mid-range shooter in the NBA.
Oh, yeah, in his prime, like he was a monster.
No, I am.
Yeah. All right.
Moving on to my number 7, I got Andre Drummond. I don't really know what's going on with him because of the fact that he's like on the Cavs. I was really excited on trade deadline to see where he goes, see if he could get sent to a contender and make a big difference. But it didn't really happen. He got traded to the Cavs and everybody was like, oh.
Yeah, basically I think the unanimous conclusion was the trade was just horrible. Yeah,
they got nothing back.
Yeah, they got pennies on the dollar. Like, come on.
Did they get like Brandon Knight or something?
They got Brandon Knight. They got someone else. I forget who the other player was, and then they got 2 second-round picks. I think they got Brandon Knight, John Henson.
Yeah, John Henson.
I don't even know. Yeah, they got John.
Did Andre Drummond even play any games for the Cavs?
Yeah, he played a bunch. Not a bunch. He played like 3 or 4 games.
Played a fair few, but.
Yeah, hit some threes actually.
Any of those
he did? He hit threes?
I think he hit 1 or 2 threes in those games.
want to watch some.
I'm going to look that up right now.
I think he hit I saw a clip of him in a Cavs jersey hitting a 3. So,
Oh my
I
gosh,
can't
he's
even.
taking 1.8 a game for Cleveland. Jesus Christ. Okay.
so yeah. Anyways, so yeah, Andre Drummond, maybe he's gonna start becoming a better shooter. So I have him at 7. Arnav said he's probably the best rebounder in the league. I would agree.
He
I
is the
think,
best rebounder
yeah,
in the
he's the best rebounder in the NBA. So yeah, Andre Drummond number 7. Number 6, you guys might think is also a little bit high, but I haven't been too impressed with this guy. I got Rudy Gobert at number 6.
Oh shoot. Okay. Actually,
Yeah. So I
sort of understand this.
I don't think he's a good enough offensive player to be that high. Like, he's obviously can't shoot
His
for
shooting
anything.
game is so bad, but that's not what he's gonna do.
Yeah, exactly. So he's like, it's not even like he's. I don't even know if I think he's hit like 1-0 or 1-3 in his entire career, which isn't.
I don't think he's ever hit a 3.
Yeah, I don't think he's ever hit a 3. No. So I have him at
Yeah.
number 6. Not too much I can say because Arnav kind of covered him. He said he hasn't been playing great defense in Nikola Jokic. I mean, I haven't been watching all the entire games, but I don't know. He's a good rim protector, but I don't think that gives him a top 5 spot. At number 5, I got Kristaps Porzingis. As you said, growing pains this season with Luka Doncic trying to fit in with that Mavericks team, but we saw glimpses of it until he got injured. I think that Mavericks team is going to be good. He's a mobile player. He can shoot the ball amazingly for his size.
Yeah, for his size, he's a knockdown.
He might be the best shooting big man in the league.
He's not, and you're both missing the point there, but we'll get to him.
I mean, Karl-Anthony Towns, I think he will be.
Karl-Anthony Towns is shooting 8 a game on 40%. Porzingis is shooting like 7 a game on 35. It's not hard to pick who's better.
I think in a couple of years, Porzingis will be the best shooting big man in the league.
I think you're wrong.
Okay.
And your opinion means very little to me.
What?
I think he's got good fundamentals in his shot. It's a quick shot. I think they'll look for him more, and I think he'll start getting to over 40% from 3. Okay, so moving on to my number 4 spot, I got Bam Adebayo. Probably should have been most improved player. I don't know. I don't think I picked him when we did our award predictions, but he's still a good player, young player. Fits in great with that Miami team. I think they're going to be special. I think they're going to take out the Bucks, as I said. I think he's a great defender, not a bad offensive player, can shoot the ball a little bit, not the best shooter. I mean, he won the skills challenge this year, which I found impressive, even though the skills challenge is kind of a lost challenge. Like,
it doesn't mean anything. Who watches the skills challenge?
Yeah. Man? No, it's like the first thing on Saturday night just to get you warmed up for the rest. Yeah. Even the 3-point competition, I mean.
Yeah, no one watches that anymore.
No. I think they need to totally rewrite that stuff, like 1-on-1, 2-on-2.
I want to see a 1v1,
Yeah.
They need a 1v1 tournament. But
it's the reason they're not doing that is because no one wants to.
A topic for a future episode, right? We can talk about that in a couple episodes.
No stars would join that because they know they'd like if they get beaten by like a no-name like freaking like Jonathan Jalomble, then Jonathan Jalomble, then they'll be like
that's a real
laughing stock of the league.
Anyway, moving on to my number 3, I got Duo 180 Joel Embiid. I don't know if you get the reference, but
I didn't get the reference. I think I forgot.
You don't get the reference?
I forgot. What's that?
The guy on Jeopardy. He was like, "What's Joel Embiid's like nickname?" And then he's like,
"Oh, right, yeah."
And Joel Embiid's Twitter name is Joel, and then in like quotations, Duo, yeah. Anyways, so I have Joel Embiid. Don't love the man. Not a horrible basketball player. Cocky, a baby. I mean, if he's watching this, I'm gonna hide. But yeah, I don't think he's gonna watch it.
He doesn't know where you live.
True.
I'll make him cry, bro. When I'm in the league, I'll dunk on him. Make him cry.
Okay, you have been talking about yourself for a lot. Yeah, not a horrible shooter. Good scorer. I mean, I feel bad a little bit because it was so hard for him to carry that team without Simmons, and they got swept. But yeah, he's don't love the guy, but he's the third best center in the league.
He is
He
undeniably
says
talented.
he's the best. He says he's the best player in the league,
Yeah.
and he can even take his team to the second round.
And at number 2,
You guys are too harsh on him in a second, but we'll get you to that.
at number 2, I have Karl Anthony Towns. I think he's, as Nav said too, I think he's going to be the best player in the league, or not the best player in the league, the best center in the league in a couple of years. Andrew always talks about his shooting, so I'm not going to get into that. I mean, he's a good shooter, but I think he's
shooting big man. He will retire at this rate. No center in NBA history has shot as many threes as him. So is he the best shooting big man ever? Well, yeah, by that metric. If you shoot the most threes at the most efficient rate, then you're the best shooting center, right?
No.
Yes.
It just means you're more confident than other.
Okay, but does that not make you, if you're super confident and all your shots go in, that makes you one of the best shooters, right?
Yeah, but it doesn't mean you're the best.
A game on 40% as a 7-footer.
how many times are you going to say that?
We don't know. Like, what about other
Hard.
centers that don't get enough minutes? We don't know that they're better than him or not.
Okay, well, that's just assumption, okay? Right now, he is the best.
Yes.
Right now, he is the
Okay.
best. And it's not
I'm going to move to number 1, Nikola Jokic. Not too much to say. Nav covered him a little bit. Well, I just believe he's the best center in the league. He's a force. He's a good scorer, rebounder, not a bad passer, playmaker for a big man. I think he's going to go down as one of the best centers. There's not. I think his team's going to move on. I think him and Jamal Murray are very good together. So I have him at number 1. I don't have too many strong opinions on him, so that's why I don't have too much to say. But that's my list, and yeah.
Okay, so it's my turn?
Yeah, your turn.
So, I have one honorable mention that Ben mentioned him quickly, but DeAndre Ayton is my honorable mention, and so is Steven Adams. My problem with Steven Adams is his offensive game isn't versatile enough, and he's a really good offensive rebounder, but he's not by any means an amazing defender or anything. He's just a super strong player, but I don't think that warrants him being a top 10 center in the NBA. But I think I disagree, but I think I'm not upset that you guys had him on your list. But anyway, at my number 10, I have Jonas Valanciunas. Great 20 and 10 guy for the Grizzlies. He's arguably their second or third best player. You could even argue he's their best player right now. He's their most established. He's a great rebounder. He's got a great interior presence. He's got a solid post game. He goes to this hook shot a lot. He's an inconsistent but fun three-point shooter, especially when he was in Toronto. I used to love the JV threes, but he's not by any means a bad shooter. I think he could be better, though. He's just a really fundamentally sound big man, and I think he's really good for this Grizzlies team right now, just anchoring the paint. And, yeah, I have him at number 10, pretty much tied with DeAndre Ayton, though, who's my number 11, who I think is probably a better post scorer, and he's more modern. And DeAndre Ayton will definitely be a top 10 center next year. But at number 9, I have Andre Drummond, who, unlike those two, I have a very low opinion on. I think Andre Drummond is the best rebounding center in the NBA, and it's not even a contest. He's the best rebounder in the NBA. It's not even close. So, however, the way he gets those rebounds and the way he plays is just not a feasible way to play in the modern game. He doesn't shoot threes. He has a poor post game for a big man. He's not particularly good at it at all. And he's not a great defender. He can be really good. He can be really bad. He's inconsistent. And it's interesting that he shot threes in Cleveland, but I don't think he's going to keep that up. And I think that trade that the Pistons made, what they got back for him, is just a testament to how low his value is right now. Like, they traded him for pennies on the dollar, man. Like, those 2 second-round picks, those two may never play in the NBA. John Henson may never play valuable minutes for them. Brandon Knight's not going to play valuable minutes for them because he's just another point guard. So really, they traded him for basically nothing. And his game just is not built for the modern game. If he's your best player, then your ceiling is no higher than a 6th seed, right? Because he's not talented enough as a shooter, as a rim runner, as a defender to build around. So that's why I'm at number 9. At number 8, I have Jusuf Nurkic, who I'm surprised neither of you had on your list. Jusuf Nurkic might be the most slept-on player in the bubble right now. Because one thing that
it's just that listen, like when he was,
That's just the playoffs,
we don't know how he's gonna come back from his injury. Like I know he's already been back, but we didn't see too much from him. We just saw the Dayton show.
We saw 8 games in the bubble, which were really good. And what no one is talking about is he is shooting 1-3 every game now. He is shooting. Like before in his career, he took a total of like 43s. And now he's taking 1 a game, which is a huge jump. He had his best scoring numbers ever in the bubble. He had played the most minutes. He's a very solid post player. He's a good passer. He's a good rebounder. He's not amazing, but for a big man, he gets it done.
A stretch of 10 games doesn't prove anything, Andrew.
And he's a rim runner.
10 games doesn't prove anything.
Okay, but it's a good sign that he's shooting, and it's not. And like when he catches the ball, he's not like waiting because he's wide open. He's catching it and he's just popping it. Like when you watch the Blazers, like he seems very confident in his shot now, which I think is a step in the right direction for him. Like he's only taking 1 a game, but that's still big. Like from taking almost none for his whole career to now taking 1 a game, that's important. And I think he's a really underrated player. He's a really, really good, polished offensive player for a big man. He's great, solid for the modern game. As long as his 3-point shot steadily improves, I think he would be great. But anyway, next at number 7, I have LaMarcus Aldridge, who in his prime was one of the best post scorers in the league, arguably the best. That post shot from the left was just nuts. Obviously, he's fallen off in San Antonio because he's gotten older and his game just isn't modern enough.
Well, everyone's going to fall off as they get older.
3-point shooting isn't his game, and what his game is just not very efficient. And I don't think he's viable on a winning team anymore. I think he could be I think he could be a good bench player, a good veteran to have, but I think at this point, like, there's nowhere to go but down for him because his game just doesn't fit the modern era. But he is still a really solid post scorer, and his 3-point shot has been better. Again, not great though, and I don't think it's a feasible option for him to go to a lot. But he's a solid post player and a solid overall contributor on both ends of the floor. So anyway, next at number 6, I have Nikola Vucevic, who's not the best 3-point shooting big man in the NBA. Don't be stupid.
Nobody said that except for Arnav. I didn't say that Arnav said that. I said he's one of, which is true.
But that's really not saying much. There aren't a lot of 3-point shooting big men yet. Okay, give it a couple years, man. So Vucevic is a really solid post player. He's a great passer. His 3-point shooting is decent. I think it's overrated, but it's decent. He's not a particularly great defender, and he's a little slow on his feet, but his passing is good. He's a really solid bucket getter, and he brings a solid post presence as well. So really not much to say with him. That's pretty much about it. So, yeah. At number 5, I have Bam Adebayo, who you could argue is better than Rudy Gobert right now.
I do argue that.
He'll definitely be better than Gobert next year. He's a more versatile defender. He's also a very good shot blocker, and he makes a really big impact at the rim. I think Rudy Gobert is makes some of the most defensive impact in the NBA, not just with his shot blocking, but his size. Like, basically, when he's on the floor, the paint is completely closed off because he's so big and long, right? Like, people, like, it's hard to get by someone that's 7'2", with like go gadget arms, right? So yeah, but anyway, Bam Adebayo, he's a really good interior defender. He's really strong, and because of that, he's one of the best matchups in the NBA for Giannis, which is huge. Even though Giannis is only one player, that's like might be the most important guy to be able to have a good matchup against in the NBA, right? Like if you have a good matchup against Giannis, then you can beat the Bucks, which is huge, especially in the playoffs right now, which is why Miami has
Same with Toronto.
Same with Toronto. Also, right, I should probably give Marcus All an honorable mention too, because he's good at defending Giannis and he's been really good in the bubble. But anyway, Bam Adebayo, he's a really good passer. I think his passing is, if anything, underrated. People don't talk about it enough. He's a really good rim runner. He's athletic. He can run the floor. He's sort of like Draymond Green for this team, but he's 4 inches taller, which is a really nice player. And he's young, so he's going to get better. He should have won Most Improved Player. And I expect him to be a top 4 center for even top 3 if one of Embiid, Cat, or Jokic falls out for the next decade. But at number 4, I have Rudy Gobert. Obviously, I said he probably might make the most defensive impact in the NBA. Having a paint defense still reigns supreme. Like, that is still king in the NBA, and he's the best at it, which is why he's a 2-time Defensive Player of the Year. His offensive game is pretty bad. I mean, he's just 7'2", so I mean, at a certain point, like, yeah, he's going to get buckets inside, but other than that, he doesn't do anything special. But yeah, he's just an amazing defensive player, and that gives him enough value to be the 4th best center in the NBA when he's that good at it.
Because he just protects the rim, like
he's just the best rim protector in the NBA, not just with his shot blocking, but with his pure size and he's not quick, and he's not a horrible perimeter defender either. I should probably clear that up, but against smaller guards, he does tend to get cooked a lot because when you're that big, being mobile and big at the same time is kind of hard. I kind of expect Bol once he gets established in the NBA to have a similar defensive impact, probably just worse. But yeah, that's about it.
Yeah.
So
3.
At 3, I have Joel Embiid, and I think you guys were a little harsh on Embiid, even though I have the same.
No, we're not harsh on Embiid.
Love or hate Embiid's personality. I feel this is your problem. You let players' personality cloud your judgment of their game. Like Draymond Green was amazing in his prime, and he's one of the best power forwards in the NBA. Okay, love or hate him. Okay, you cannot deny how talented he is. I think Joel Embiid is the last big man in the NBA, that a traditional big man that will ever be built around again, that doesn't shoot at a high rate. I think you can build a championship team around him. I am in a small camp when I say that, but I genuinely believe that Embiid could be the best center in the NBA in the right scenario. I think it's very hard to build around him because he's not a great shooter, but it is doable. Like in the right circumstance, if you maximize his ability in the paint, then he could be so dominant. And you need obviously you need shooters around him, and a solid Steph Curry would be great with him because he's a great playmaker and he just runs around hitting threes all day. But yeah, I think my problems with Embiid are, again, he's not modern enough yet to easily have a team built around him, and his deficiencies on offense and his sort of slow-footedness. He's not that slow-footed, but he is really big. And also the injury risk with him. He gets hurt a lot. Those are all deficiencies with him, and I expect the Sixers to blow it up and trade one of him or Ben. Obviously, you want to try and make it work. They have 2 top – like Embiid is probably a top 15 player. And Ben Simmons, you could argue, is a top 15 player. He's probably within the top 20 range. So if you have those 2, you want to try and make it work. I don't think it will. Their games just clash too much and interfere with each other. But Embiid's he's probably the best post scorer in the NBA. Great defender. He's a solid passer. I think that's underrated. And yeah, so that's why I have him at number 3. I think you guys were a little too harsh on his personality.
We were harsh, but
a bit of a baby, but I don't see, like, after crying in the NBA Finals, okay, Embiid has been a long way, okay, from missing his first 2 years in the NBA, starting playing basketball at 17 in Sudan, like, to go that far, to get so far, to get to Game 7 of the Eastern Conference semifinals, and to lose on a game winner for the first time in NBA history, like, that's where it all came crumbling down, right? So, like, you have every right to be an emotional player in that scenario, right?
mm-hmm.
But I still think that, yeah, he is a bit of a baby, and his personality is really annoying sometimes. But yeah, I still have him at number 3. So at number 2, I have Karl Anthony Towns, who is far and away the best three-point shooting big man in the NBA. It's probably not even a contest, in my opinion. His ability to create shots off the dribble as a big man, his ability to catch and shoot. He has great handles for a big man at his size, which is just crazy. I think Karl Anthony Towns could be a top 30 player of all time. I actually think he has a higher ceiling than Nikola Jokic. He's that good. His offensive game, his ability, his size and athleticism lends him being a great post scorer. He has a nice turnaround game. He has a good face-up game. He's really strong. He's not really a rim runner, but I think he could be a good pick and roll player. Just I don't think that's what you want to do with him. He is a center you can build around because of all the things he does well. Like, offensively, what weakness does he have? He's an amazing 3-level scorer. He's a solid passer. The only thing with him is he's not a great defender, but I think that's all mental. I think eventually he will become at least average defender, unlike Jokic, who I have at number 1. But yeah, Cat is. I think the Timberwolves, if they don't make the playoffs next year, I'd be really worried. People are underestimating how much of a poverty franchise Minnesota is, and because of like the fact that it's cold and it's near Canada, which everyone in the States just thinks is a giant iceberg. It's not a place that players like going to. Like when Jimmy Butler came to Minnesota through the trade, like a few free agents came there, Taj Gibson and Jeff Teague, but that came crumbling down after 1 year. So I think the Timberwolves have to find a third piece for this team in order for this team to be successful in the next 4 years. I think they have 4 years to become a contender. Otherwise, one of Cat or D'Lo will leave them. But Cat is obviously an amazing talent, and I think he's the best scoring big man in the NBA, in my opinion. But Jokic is passing, and anyway, at number 1, I have Jokic at number 1, and his passing is pretty much single-handedly carrying him to the spot. Also, the fact that he's been to the playoffs. And in the playoffs, he is by no means a choker. He is actually very, very clutch. His numbers go up drastically in the playoffs from like a 18 to 20 point per game score to a 26 point per game score, which is amazing. He's the best passing big man of all time. He is a solid shooter. He's been bad this year, but he's been better recently in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And he's a very poor defender. Probably worse than Cat, I would say, just because he doesn't protect the rim like Cat can, I guess. But he's the best passing big man of all time, and him and Jamal Murray, their 1-2 punch is just awesome. So that's why I have them where I have them. Or that's why I have him where I have him. I think he's just his passing and his vision, and he also has good handles. His ball handling ability, I would say, is pretty underrated. So yeah, that's why I have him at number 1.
All right. So I thought both of your lists were pretty good. So yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I have anything I disagree with on either of your lists, other than some of the dumb things you said, Arnav, like Nikola Vucevic being the best shooting big man. That's really about it. That one was dumb.
The Michael Porter Jr. thing.
Oh yeah, Michael Porter Jr. Him being garbage. He's
He
not.
played pretty bad, bro.
Remember he's a rookie, okay, and he's being thrusted into a top tier playoff.
He's been playing better than Bol.
Yeah, Bol hasn't even played, man, and you're chalking Bol up to be a literal god amongst men. So like, relax, okay. But yeah, that'll do it for today's episode, and we will see you next time on 3 in the Key.